We are living in the most connected generation in the history of humanity. But yet, depression is rising faster than ever. We have more technology, we have more opportunities, we have more comfort, but somehow less meaning. According to the World Health Organization, over 95,000 people have committed suicide this year alone, 2026. And on average, on a yearly basis, over 720,000 people commit suicide every single year. If you stay to the end of this video, you're going to understand the 3 factors that causes depression and also how to come out of it. I used to think that depression meant weakness until somehow I realized that even the strong people in society, some of the quote and unquote successful people, also battle with depression. Even some of them to the extent of committing suicide. So what is really the issue? What is the root cause of this menace? What's the root cause of this thing called depression? A lot of young people today get depressed and it goes into a spiral of other negative things that can even end up leading them to losing their life, and so many other negative things affecting us in society today. And I really, as someone who has gone through this state before, I just felt drawn to talking about this, sharing my perspective, and sharing the 3 factors that a lot of people do not pay attention that really causes this. They are the root cause of this, and also how you can drastically reduce the chances of you getting depressed and even come out of that state of depression, because it is really, really affecting our society negatively. So let's really talk about what depression really is and what no one is actually talking about concerning this whole issue. My name is Joshua Ayodele. You can call me Josh Ayo or Josh. I'm sure you're probably new to this channel. I'm going to be sharing things that affect our daily lives. I'm going to be talking about things on our human psychology, things that affect how we think, how we behave, the way we behave, and also things about real estate as well, because I'm also a real estate consultant and a real estate investment advisor as well. So yes, that's just basically in a nutshell what this channel is going to be focusing on. Let's first start on what depression is, for those of you that might be hearing the word but don't really know what depression is. So depression is basically a persistent disturbance in your mood, in your thinking, in your energy, and also your motivation that affects the way you function, affects the way you feel, and basically the way you relate to life in general. So it's basically that kind of negative, and when I mean negative, I mean on a persistent basis, because most people mistake sadness for depression, but depression goes beyond sadness, because somebody can be sad today and happy the next minute. But depression, it comes often and often and often, where you're in this state where you always feel negative, bad, like you always feel like there's no meaning to everything and you just want to end it. Like you don't want to do, you're not motivated to do anything meaningful, you're not motivated to want to thrive in life. Like that persistent negative mood, negative energy that just comes and just stays for a very, very long period of time. That is basically what depression is all about. So I'm going to be looking at it from three phases. The first one, you are going to look at it from an environmental phase. We're also going to look at it from a biological / medical phase, and also going to look at it from a philosophical phase. I find it quite fascinating that most times people think depression is just medical, and while that is not wrong, I do not think that is complete. So let's look at the first phase, the environmental phase, right? Let me give you an example or an analogy. I feel like there are some times where the kind of background you come from can really influence your mental state, can really influence how you view life, can really influence your mood at times. For example, for someone that came from a family where there's a lot of dysfunction. What do I mean by dysfunction? I mean, maybe you're always seeing your father beating up your mother, or you're seeing a lot of promiscuity, infidelity in the household. as a child, there is something that it does to you, and it can lead to things like childhood trauma, where you feel like, oh, why is my father always beating my mom? And you now begin to create certain scenarios in your mind where you feel, oh, if my father is always beating my mom, it means all men are wicked. Maybe, for example, a lady growing up in that house, it could be like all men are wicked, and you begin to tell yourself that thing over and over and over again, and you always see men as being evil. And maybe, for example, you now come to a point where you want to be in a relationship, and maybe with a guy, and it doesn't end up working out. You now begin to judge based on your past childhood experiences that, oh, like what I was saying is right. The reason why this thing did not work is because all men are scums, all men are bad, blah, 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 and so many other things because of that childhood trauma you've experienced. And this is due to the environment that you grew up in. Sometimes it could be, and that could also lead you to depression, because you just feel like the reality you experienced as a child growing up is the current reality you're experiencing now. And most times, if you do not heal from your past childhood trauma, it's going to affect things in the future and can lead to depression. And you'll be like, oh, there's no point having a relationship. I'm talking about as a lady now. And it can also go vice versa as a guy as well. Another thing could be like, maybe in the issue of infidelity. Like, I've heard the story of a woman that, all through her life, she was a Christian, she loved God, she kept herself as a virgin, and she met this man, she got married, and at some point in the marriage, the husband committed infidelity, cheated on her with another person. And she felt so bad because she grew up, and you see, and this is the irony of life. Sometimes you can even go from there are some people that come from a good background that can still get depressed. It's not only people that come from a bad background. Now, she came from a good background, a family that were monogamous, loving, supportive, and yet, she experienced this in her marriage, which she has never really seen before. And she started falling into a state of depression, maybe, questioning herself that, is it that I'm not good enough? Is it that there's something wrong with me? And she began to ask herself different questions, because she was just kind of wondering, why would my husband cheat on me with another woman? Is there something that I lack? And those questions kept playing and playing over and over in her life, to the point that she felt so bad, because, like I said, it's beyond sadness. She felt so bad. She's like, okay, I think I'm not worth living. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I have my kids, but I have kids for this man. What is he really looking for? And she thought of committing suicide, to the point where she wanted to go to Third Milan Bridge and jump into the water, because she felt like, I should just end it here. There's no point of me living. There's nothing happening. The family people are not helping matters. I mean, it was just crazy. And I think she just had a revelation of, God, as a Christian, God revealed to her that you make sure that she carries her burdens for her. I know not everybody watching this might be Christian, but that's what the revelation she had. And also, she thought about the children as well too. I have kids, they'll need me. Even though my husband might have committed this, I shouldn't now disappoint my children or not be there for my children due to my bad experience that I had. And it just shows how depression can come from various factors. So that's looking at it from an environmental factor. Another thing is, when you look at it from a biological standpoint, there are sometimes, and it has been proven statistically and medically as well, that if you come from a family that battled with depression or mental health issues, there's a 30 to 50% chance you're also going to pass through the same, medically speaking, right now. And that's why some people battle it, and and it comes over and over. They have mental health issues and depression, depressive states, because most likely there's somebody in the family or from the bloodline that's gone through that, maybe their father, their mother, or vice versa, and they end up dealing with this issue. And when it comes to with depression when you look at it from a biological or medical standpoint, at that point in time, the most advisable way is to seek a medical help from a medical professional that deals with such issues, or you can even seek a therapist to help you as well too. And there are certain medications that really help with that, because at this point in time, there's a kind of like chemical imbalance in your brain that is making you to feel in that state. And also what you eat as well too also has a very huge role to play whether you get depressed or not, because what you eat determines how you live, and you understand. So what we put into our body will determine the kind of state our mind is going to be in, whether it's going to be in a chaotic state or it's going to be in a peaceful, more present, more mindful state. Do you understand? But going back to the environmental factor, I feel like for someone that has gone through those kind of traumatic events, maybe your marriage, your childhood, I feel like you really need to go through a process of healing for you not to go into a place of depression. Probably need to seek guidance from a counselor, or for someone that is, maybe you have marriage issues or relationship issues or whatever it is, someone that can really talk to you, guide you on, okay, this thing might have happened to you, but it doesn't define who you are. You need to know that you can always turn a negative situation around. Your father might have done this to your mom, but it doesn't mean that you have to repeat the same thing. And it doesn't mean all men are like that. You can learn the patterns from what happened in your past and see how you can improve your own life, make better decisions. And that way, when you have that kind of healing process, when you go through that kind of healing process, like, okay, it doesn't mean that thing is going to happen in my life. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person because my husband did this to me or my wife did this to me. I can always make better decisions and find meaning even through a chaotic situation. I can find meaning, learn something, and keep evolving and improving myself. And that can really help. Another factor that really causes depression is also existential crisis. And this is from a philosophical approach where people feel empty, even regardless of the amount of successes that they've been able to achieve. And you can see some people might be athletes, high-performing athletes, maybe bankers, CEOs, and yet they still feel kind of empty. So people, they might not feel like there's a need to live. And existential crisis stems from the notion of, why am I here? What is life all about? Like, I don't think there's any meaning to life. I don't think I should strive towards anything. And you begin to question yourself on, purpose, and you begin to ask yourself, who am I really? And so people that have a lack of self-worth, a lack of meaning to life or existence, they battle existential crisis. And even though they might have things on the external, maybe money, fame, women, sex, and what have you, they still feel a kind of emptiness inside. And most times it leads to depression. And for someone that can really find meaning to life from the core of their being, because you have to look inward for you to be able to bring meaning to your life. External validation, external material things cannot really bring that inner satisfaction that you're really looking for. Do you understand? People that are even musicians, top musicians, they end up getting depressed. And you see that even top musicians, they end up getting depressed, some of them committing suicide. And it can even lead to them for them to cope with that lack of inner meaning, they end up trying to cope by taking drugs and thinking that will solve the problem. But an external thing can't solve an internal issue. Do you understand my point? So it's just like if someone is sick from the inside, trying to use an external force to solve something that's from the inside will not work. And so you have to treat it from inside out. I remember there was a time that I was battling with pimples. That's acne. And for the longest of time, I was trying to use a lot of beauty products, trying to just clean my face to ensure that I don't have pimples, use cleanser, use different creams. And I noticed that it will solve it temporarily, but it will come back. It will solve it temporarily, then it will come back. And then one day I was just meditating and I just thought, a thought just came. He just said, why are you trying to solve the issue of acne externally? Why not treat it from inside out? That probably there's something in your system that is not balanced that might be causing you to have acne. And I thought about it, that's an interesting point. So I now started researching on, natural ways or natural remedies to treat acne from the inside out. And I realized that your diet has to change. You have to remove oily, saturated, fatty foods. You have to rest well. You have to eat a lot of vegetables, you understand? And things like carrots, cucumber, avocado, cabbage, and so many other things. And I started practicing that. I started eating those veggies, resting well, avoiding things that are quite dusty to touch my face. And, I realized that the acne started going on its own without me using all these beauty products. And some people see me today and they don't see pimples on my face. And they'll be like, oh, how come you don't have pimples? I'm like, I found the secret is solving the problem from inside out rather from outside in, if that makes a lot of sense. So the same way, one of the ways to find meaning in life is to kind of look back or look inward and observe the potential that has been put inside of you by the Creator, and see how you can be a solution to the problems of humanity, even from a small scale to a large scale, and see that you actually matter. Because there are some people, they are depressed because they feel like they don't really matter, they're just part of the numbers. But no, you really, really matter. And it doesn't matter the background you came from, it doesn't matter the things you've gone through in life. You can find meaning knowing that there are certain potentials that are inside of you that can solve problems. There are some doctors today that they found purpose, found meaning in helping people get better at their health. There are some people, they are counselors today, they found meaning in helping people, become better at their relationship, and it kind of brings a fulfillment. Because a tree, and let me give you an analogy, a tree doesn't produce fruits for itself, rather it produces fruits for people outside of itself. And it finds meaning and fulfillment by producing fruit for others. That's the same way, especially if you have a service mindset where you feel like, oh, I have a service to mankind. This gift that God has given to me, or this gift that is inside of me, this potential can solve this problem, and I find meaning in this. I find purpose in this, in doing this assignment to humanity. It brings a lot of fulfillment, I tell you. It could be like you're working on a project as well, and you know that project solves a problem for humanity. It could be in whatever shade or form. It doesn't matter what field you're in, you find meaning in that work, no matter how small. And that, from a philosophical approach, can actually, help. Because when you have existential crisis and you do not have a sense of purpose or direction in life, you don't have a sense of meaning to what you're doing, it can lead to depression. So those are just some of the ways I believe, sharing from my perspective, I believe people can deal with depression. And for example, if you're a parent here, if you have a child, always make sure that your child grows up in an environment where they feel they can be a blessing to mankind, where they feel they can always be better, where they feel that nothing is impossible for them to achieve. Don't ever let them come to a point where they always feel down or negative. Always show them that, you see, life, it doesn't matter the obstacle you face, you can always come out stronger, you can always come out better, you can always find joy even in the littlest of things and be a blessing to people aside from just yourself. And when they grow up in that kind of environment where you always encourage them, chances are that they most likely, when they grow up, will grow up with that mindset and will likely not fall into depression. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to fall into depression, but the chances are very, very, very minimal. Do you understand? So that's just my own perspective on the whole, depression issue that's really affecting our situation. Because most times it can always be traced to other factors. People think it's just about the suicide, but what is behind the suicide that is making them to kill themselves? What is behind the drug abuse and so many other things? Do you understand? What is even behind the depressive states? Some nuances that you need to look at are from childhood, upbringing. Some of them might be negative occurrences. Maybe sometimes it can even be external too. Maybe you are living in a government where things are quite tough. Maybe as a married person, you're trying to cater for your family and things are not working on financially. It can also be external as well too. And commodities are so expensive, standard of living is so high beyond your financial capacity. You can look at it from another approach that, okay, I understand that the government is not really trying their best. I understand that financially I'm not there yet. I understand that, things are quite expensive, more than my standard of living can afford. But instead of getting depressed, you ask yourself, what can I do? What can I learn from my current situation that can help me come out of this problem? And you begin to think. And once you begin to think, your brain will begin to work out ways for you to solve that problem that is making you depressed. I say, okay, probably I need to upskill in my career, or probably I need to get into a side also. Probably I need to start a business that can give me a larger portion of income to be able to fund the lifestyle for my family. That's the way you can come out. And you've just looked inwardly, you've thought about it. You could also, people that are battling, lack of self-worth and self-definition, look at yourself. I think I have a lot of potential in me. I mean, look at my life. I think basically I've been able to solve this problem. I faced this obstacle in the past and I came out of it. I think I have a lot of potential to build people. I really think I have a message to tell people that could learn from my own bad experience in the past and even eventually come out of it. I have a lot to offer the world. You can see how that rephrases it. And your brain begins to come to a kind of optimistic state. You begin to inspire yourself to be better, and makes you reduce that depressive state, and you begin to see, okay, I have a message. You understand? So those are just some of the ways. I feel like this could be solved in these 3 different ways. If you guys also relate with everything that I've said so far, make sure to comment some of the things that you might be battling with in terms of depression, and also what you feel about what I've shared, and any other questions that you might have. Let's engage together, let's learn together, let's evolve together. And like the video if you found it valuable, share it to someone, and also subscribe as well. Hit the notification icon so you can get notified for more videos like this. Like I said, I'm talking about things on life, things that affect our daily living, psychology, real estate as well too, for those that might be interested as well. Even if you're not interested, you can learn 1 or 2 things. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys, God bless.